Folks, we've been promising this. I've been promising this for a while. It's something I've wanted to do. You ever wonder how the hell did we go from Austin 316, Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression Era, to Kenny fucking Omega, Daniel Bryan, Andrade, Charlotte Flair, painfully boring, bland, cringy shit that they have now? You ever wonder how the hell is this the same company?
Don't forget gay and perverted, not just cringy.
There was a timeline. There's a history. You can go back and look up how it happened. There are a bunch of set events that are big. There's a lot of events, but there are certain ones that are bigger than the others that, in our opinion, are the reasons you can go back and definitively blame for why we're at where we are today. And we're going to talk to you about some of those. And in our opinion, the first reason, first of all, you cannot compare, how do I even explain this? Ruthless Aggression Era, clearly a step down from the Attitude Era. Would you agree with that?
I would have to.
The Attitude Era.
Even though we grew up with that.
Right, but if you go back and watch the Attitude Era, it's like, yeah, that was the shit. The company is surviving today because it's still, in a way, riding off of the coattails of that. That's where a lot of the interest comes. Don't count the smarks and the nerds who are match marks and all this bullshit. The people who tune in and are sick of tuning in are people who grew up watching it and have a sliver of hope that it's going to be good again. And that's because of the Attitude Era. So, the Ruthless Aggression Era is not as good as the Attitude Era. But we're not going to say that there are events in 2002, 2003, 2004 that led us to where we are now. Because the Attitude Era was not sustainable. You can't be that good for that long. It had to go down eventually. And in my opinion, going down from the Attitude Era as your peak and plateauing in at the Ruthless Aggression Era as like a bottom.
That's wonderful.
Still great.
No one's complaining about the. We're not saying at all that the Ruthless Aggression Era is bad.
You can build back up from there.
That's great.
Unfortunately,
That's great TV.
it's stuff that happened after that ruined wrestling. The first event that we're going to talk about today, in our opinion, that led to the shit that we have going on today. If you trace it all the way back, if you climb the eviction notice fell, shit. If you climb the beanstalk at the top, this is gonna piss people. I don't understand why this is gonna piss people off, but it is. June 2007, when Benoit went postal.
Or when he was murdered.
Oh! Folks, you cannot deny that is what started this chain reaction that led us to where we are. There is a definitive before Benoit and after Benoit quality of product. They panicked when that happened. They were terrified that their stock was going to plummet and there was going to be investigations and that the spotlight was on them in a negative way. Vince was going on every morning talk show saying, we're about smiles. It was after Benoit that the PG era began. You have to understand. That's why they went PG.
We're not talking television rating PG, but we're talking because you can do a lot with a PG rated show. A lot of the Attitude Era shows were still PG.
No.
We're talking removing any adult content from the show at all. Not even, and it's ridiculous that a show that ran from 9 to 11 couldn't have adult material on it, and this is why you're alienating fucking your audience, because there's nothing that an adult can tune into and not feel like a retard watching.
No, the retardation of the programming began after Benoit. You cannot dispute that.
A lot of people had started turning on John Cena before that, but the reason why the big exodus takes place is because he goes from being just someone who's not everybody's cup of tea to a fucking Barney the Dinosaur character.
He wasn't. 2005, 6, and 7. Go look at the main event of WrestleMania 23. Cena was not, he wasn't edgy, he was boring, but he wasn't, that's the greatest way to describe it, he wasn't a Barney character.
He didn't come out going, if you believe deep down in your heart, you can achieve your dream.
Up aboard the caboose now, kids. Chugga, 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 choo, choo. He wasn't doing that shit back then. And who was on the card at WrestleMania 23? Benoit was still there. It hadn't happened yet. And this is going to be hard for some of our young fans to actually understand this because they didn't experience the first part of the Ruthless Aggression Era. They didn't experience life before the Benoit thing. These people came of age in the Cena Orton era. All they know is PG goofiness.
I don't even know how you became fans.
But I am telling you, if you think that was the golden era, trust us, it was even better. But there was a mark. We stopped watching shortly after the Benoit thing because there was a difference in the program. And think about all the things that you lost after that happened. And we're not blood and guts, I want these people to die shit. But the quality of the hardcore matches, the chair shots,
the chairs go away,
the
kendo
spots,
sticks come
the
back.
kendo sticks came out, the ladders became flimsy, the tables looked like cardboard. I'm telling you, it wasn't always like that. They made a conscious effort to make it look like they were about safety and wellness. They didn't do this shit after Eddie Guerrero died because this is gonna sound horrible, but they were able to spin that in like a positive way, like they were able to do tribute shows and whatnot. You couldn't do anything positive with the Benoit thing. That was all negative press, all right?
So I wonder why they had him killed then, if this just hurt their company.
Yeah. Fucking Danielson. But that's where this started. You can even check the ratings. After the Attitude Era, the ratings, they're going down. Going down. Start the plateau, Ruthless Aggression Era. And actually, 2005, 2006, when Cena and Batista are coronated, starts to go up
You
again.
can thank Edge too for that.
And Edge, yep, but it starts to go up. Look at around 2008. That's when the free fall began.
The one that we're still
The one that we're still in. There hasn't been an up period since after the Benoit shit. It's been all down because they took all of the balls out of the product. They stopped doing the stuff with the divas. Mm-hmm. They stopped everything.
Now I gotta wonder if they wanted to do that for a while and Benoit was the reason to.
Could be.
I don't know why they would consciously decide to ruin everything just because some asshole killed himself.
Because they were genuinely concerned that the government was going to start coming in, watching everything they're doing, lawsuits, campaigns. Oh, look at the fucking Moms Against Violence gun shit. They were afraid all that stuff was going to turn on wrestling. They don't like having negative spotlight on them, so they cleaned up their act fast. But unfortunately, it contributed to the watered down garbage that we have today. You cannot deny. Don't tell me it was Austin leaving, it was The Rock leaving, because again, Ruthless Aggression Era. Attitude Era is here. Ruthless Aggression Era is here. Not as good.
And that obviously, it's weird that happened at the same time, but that's the nature of the wrestling business. Your stars leave, you make new ones. That's always been the cycle of wrestling.
But the here of the Ruthless Aggression Era, compared to the here of now, peaks and valleys are normal. This is fucking hell.
And again, we're not exaggerating. How many people a week were watching wrestling during the year? 10 million?
Look at the chart!
10 million people a week. Now you can't even get 1 million to tune into the show at all. They've lost what percentage is that? 90% of their audience is gone? What's the percentage? How do you lose 90% of your audience?
Look at a line graph of the average Raw rating from 1996 to now, and you will see after the Attitude Era, there was normal peaks and valleys until after the Benoit and when they decided to go PG, and so even if they didn't go PG, Benoit doing what he did would have made them take all the edge off the product, which it clearly did. But that led to the PG era and the Cena Orton goofy colored shirt Cena nonsense, which will be the topic of our next installment of this. But if you're looking for every chain reaction has to have a big bang. The big bang in this situation that ruined wrestling, that got the downfall started, was the Benoit thing. There was no coming back from that. Yeah. Fuck Chris Benoit.
And Cody Rhodes.